Hi, welcome back to my video blog that focuses on distance learning, hybrid learning, blended course design, really for the 9th through 12th grade student in CTE subject areas in particular. Last time I talked about the importance of creating meaningful 21st century learning, really in those scenarios, in the online or hybrid type learning. And really now I think one of the most important things we need to do is ask ourselves, how do we do this? How do we deliver deep learning and understanding through online learning? A lot of new ways of thinking about teaching and learning have emerged and really continue to emerge. If you haven't read them before, the EDUCAUSE series, I really recommend that you take a look at them. They have a lot of great information. And in one of their 7 Things series, they include information on micro lectures, badges, video communication, social content curation, and challenge-based learning. Each of these technologies has its benefits and challenges and really are best served depending on the course, the content, and also the audience in particular, which is very important. In specific, I'd like to address and demonstrate how one of those can be used in my media technology broadcast journalism class to evaluate convergence with social media uses, really specifically among teenagers, since that is our target audience. I believe one of the most promising learning technologies is challenge-based learning, which really can be used in any CTE area of study, I believe. Challenge-based learning is really an interesting, collaborative, student-centered, and really student-driven. Student-driven is the key word there. Concept. It uses a variety of technologies, many of which are applied through the online learning environment. And according to the EDUCAUSE article, 7 Things You Should Know About Challenge-Based Learning, the learning technology concept really suggests that the teacher presents the big idea, just really the big concept for the unit. And then students would host their own discussions, facilitated by the teacher. The students would really conduct their own research on whatever discussion topics emerge from the students' thoughts, really. And it's then the students, again, focusing on students, who determine the essential questions that should actually be answered for that unit and then also solved. So they are asking and answering their own questions in challenge-based learning. EDUCAUSE suggests that this concept typically involves a problem or an issue that affects the student's local or school community, which is an option. Furthermore, in the projects, the students work towards a solution, resolutions, or really to raise awareness about the issue that they're addressing, and they document the problem-solving process that they go through, typically through video or audio presentations. The presentations can then be shared with more of like a global society, with the intent to cause impact, again, raising awareness or solving a problem, if you will. This learning technology is really beneficial in that it asks students to engage in real world issues and scenarios. So it's really an authentic learning experience. It is similar to project-based learning in that students are actually solving problems, but again, challenge-based learning really takes it one step further in that it's actually asking the students to determine the issue that they are solving by creating those essential questions, rather than the teacher just putting those questions out there for them. Challenge-based learning can have some of its downsides. I'm sure you can imagine it's pretty time-consuming. If it's done right, you're going to put a lot of time and effort into it. Both the students and the teachers, both parties, really need to be willing to commit to the project, most likely work beyond classroom time, and interact with the community. So the teacher has to be able and trusting to let their students do that as well. However, research shows that the benefits really do outweigh that extra work that this type of learning technology might require. A 2011 study on challenge-based learning from the New Media Consortium found that 90% of teachers polled reported a significant improvement. That's a lot. 90% of teachers, significant improvement among their students in leadership, creativity, media literacy, problem solving, collaboration, critical thinking, flexibility, communication, adaptability, innovation, responsibility, and initiative, which of course are all things that we want in our classrooms. So really imagine exposing our students to all of those skills and experiencing significant improvement in an online learning environment and really doing that by using collaborative learning technologies, which is, again, what we all strive for in our classrooms. I can imagine really how a CTE teacher could create a similar unit with such tools, similar to what I was just discussing in a challenge-based unit. So here's a specific example of an online unit using challenge-based learning for my unit, which would be on social media and convergence, really impact on society, and asking students to take a look at that. I would really present the big idea through a initial face-to-face class discussion. Again, just the big idea, not the essential questions. Students would really continue the discussion online, most likely in a discussion forum, where after they watched perhaps a video, I would likely give them a reading topic to complete as well. And from that discussion, then really the whole class would come up with, again, those essential questions. Perhaps 3 in total would be a good number. And then those students would then conduct research through social content curation. So again, using another technology suggested by EDUCAUSE. And they would do that in an online sharing environment using some type of LMS, a learning management system. The student teams, again for my class, would then use all that information that they culled from those social media sites to plan news stories, to answer their own essential questions that they had developed, and really to bring awareness to the topic. They would plan, they would develop open-ended questions, they would conduct interviews, they would film supporting video to go with the interviews, they would be writing, and they would be editing their video as well, which in my class, which is a pretty standard procedure as to how they accomplish their news stories. But again, in these particular news stories, they're actually answering questions and raising awareness about an issue as well. The video news stories that those students produce could then be shared globally through a social site of the student's choice, as well as with the student body. We have a daily newscast, so if it's a school district that has something similar, they would be able to do the same. The assignment really has an impact that reaches beyond the classroom walls. It takes place in an online learning environment. It uses technologies that are really rich with those 21st century skills that we're aiming towards, and it's extremely student-centered. It evaluates and raises awareness to real-world issues, and again, that's the whole drive here, that student-centered learning that we want to take place. So now you might be wondering how to deliver these technologies. I did mention the word LMS, Learning Management System, in my discussion. So coming up next, I will talk about how you might go about selecting the LMS that best suits your needs. And that's coming up in my next blog.